So,
Hello.
we're back.
We're back.
We're live.
We are live, pal. And yeah, day two of
How
this.
the second we start recording, Mike turns on his podcast voice.
Well, I mean, like I don't know, like if you want me to just like you know what I mean? Like plus I got the microphone so far away, so
Hello, we are live on the podcast today, episode 2.
hello all and welcome to this. Basically, we have some breaking news after we recorded the podcast
Breaking
yesterday.
news? Dude, literally we turned out the podcast and it was like, oh, Roman Reigns out of WrestleMania.
The big news is that the Young Bucks are the tag team of the
The
decade.
decade. Did you
The
know that?
decade. Thanks to the
Katsuhiko Okada got stripped out of Wrestler of the Decade by Tanahashi.
true. What
And
else?
CM Punk in the top 10.
CM Punk, yeah, is in top 10. He was the top wrestler for on the microphone, like in interviews and stuff. So shout out to that. Anyway, but yeah, so we literally like we hit stop on the podcast yesterday, and it was announced that Roman Reigns is not going to be in the Mania match that was recorded yesterday and the day before. So that's fun.
Until Dave was saying for weeks he shouldn't be at Mania, and then
Yeah,
look what happened. They should have
basically,
filmed the match like last week or the week before, you know?
sometimes listen to Dave, all the time listen to Brian. That's basically what I've learned because normally what they say ends up happening afterwards. So, um, yeah, that's that. I mean, I really don't care. I mean, I feel like spoiler alert. Um, I think it's gonna be Braun Strowman. I think we could all agree that that's like what's gonna happen.
If
I
he's
mean,
gonna win, he's gonna beat Goldberg.
I think so. I think they're gonna finally give him the
Honestly,
title.
you guys should get jobs, even though we're going into a recession.
Yeah, I mean that was a stupid comment, and I really don't care
Hey,
for
hey
him.
guys, don't follow your dreams because, by the way, the world is in a pandemic. Sorry, world is in a pandemic, and don't follow your dreams. So quit wrestling and find a job. But oh wait, no one's hiring.
Braun Strowman the person, not a fan. Braun Strowman the character, I hope wins the title against Goldberg because
I I've written Braun Strowman off after that.
if you put them together, if you put Goldberg and if you put Braun Strowman against each other, I'm gonna either A, go to the bathroom, B, get a snack, or C, want Braun Strowman to win.
Come on.
So,
We're watching it and we're live streaming.
well, I'm just saying, like that's like the three things. Anyway, that's the thing. Strowman in, Roman out. So
That's all, by
that's
the way. You're breaking it like we're announcing something's happening.
well, I mean, breaking news, WWE hasn't announced it.
Like the half the time about
You're
how
gonna
we're
what?
podcast. This
What
whole
happened?
podcast is making fun of you how you record a podcast.
That's okay. Yeah, I don't care. Um, so Justin, what did you do today?
Okay, so I woke up. I woke up at 7:30. I usually wake up 6:45 to go to work, so 45 minutes extra sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
wrote some jokes today
ah,
about random stuff about my life because I'm trying to do more storytelling bits because I feel like I remember them more easily if you when you're on stage.
mm-hmm.
Storytelling, when you write a joke, right? It's like 1 to 2 minutes, sometimes longer, but it's just randomness. Versus the storytelling joke, it's kind of about your life, so you kind of know parts of it, so it's easy to remember.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I did some writing. What else did I do? I took the dog for a walk for an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, I literally walked around the neighborhood for an hour.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. Like
Um,
in a circle, or just like you went somewhere.
well, the neighborhood's huge. You could walk around forever.
Gotcha. Wish
Um,
I wish
I
I could. I wish I could know. I don't know. I won't know for a little
uh,
while.
it's like if you walked how long far do Tommy's house and back?
I don't know. It's like like not even half a mile.
Oh, okay, never mind. I walked for like 3 miles today. Two
Okay,
miles, 2.5 miles.
gotcha. You probably have stuff like close to you. But anyway,
I bought a Samsung watch and I finally set it up today.
a Samsung watch, like the touchscreen one.
Yeah.
Wow. I've been thinking about getting an Apple Watch. Obviously now we're kind of in like a weird spot because like money is a problem with
A little
everybody.
risky,
But I thought
a
about
little
getting an
pricey.
Apple Watch.
Yeah, I walked 4.47 kilometers, which equals like 2.5 miles or something. I don't know how it works.
Okay, yeah, something like that.
I got 5,800 steps.
Wow, 5,800. That's pretty good. It's a good day,
On
and
on my walk, I did 3,500 steps. So this is interesting content. Yes, I know.
uh,
You
I'm
know,
just
this just proves how boring isolation is when you really can't do anything.
well. Is that all you did today,
Oh, me and my girlfriend went for a drive. We literally drove around for half an hour because gas is so cheap. Remember
dude?
when people used to do drives?
Yeah, I know, dude. I used to do that all the time. I would like, me and my friends would be like, hey, like, what are we gonna do? It's like, we when Pokemon Go was like big, we would just like drive around and like hit up all the Pokestops and stuff and the gyms, and like I would know where they were at because I played it so much. So I would pull
Yeah.
up to the one stop, like everyone would spin the stop, and then we move on to the next one. Like that was like a
We did
thing.
that. We did it in 2016 when you took me around.
Yeah, you pop on some tunes, you put the windows down if it's like not raining. It's just a fun drive. People forget drives. So I have a an interesting day. Um, I mentioned earlier this is going to be interesting. So basically, about like I don't know what time it was. It might have been like 20 minutes to 10, and at 10 o'clock I was supposed to have like a conference call. Like we've been doing it every day.
I missed like 30 seconds of this.
What do you mean?
The call dropped for me for 30 seconds.
Oh,
What'd you say?
so basically, um, my day was interesting. I about 20 minutes before 10, which is when we were doing a conference call for work. We do it every day. It's kind of like a thing now, just to know what's going on. I get a call from my boss, and she's like, basically, asked if I had anything going on, and I was like, no, not really. And she's like, well, take the day off because we don't have anything for you today. I was like, okay. And then she was like, yeah, so next week plan for your hours to be, cut down to 20 hours for the week. And in my head, I was like, okay. But then I was like, well, if they gave me the remote desktop, like I asked them 2 weeks ago when I expected all this to happen, then maybe I wouldn't have to work 20 hours a week. I could actually do the stuff. So now I'm just like I was in a state where I was like, you know what? Not my problem. I'm going to go off and like, I'm going to go to the stores. Like that's what I do when I get bored. I go to
Now
the
you got
stores.
pay. Now your pay got cut in half because some guy didn't install a program.
Yeah. So that's fun. So I went to a couple stores and I was looking just for like sports cards and wrestling cards and Funko Pops and whatnot. I bought two Funko Pops. I got the White Sox mascot, which is pretty cool. Except it doesn't say his real name. It says White
How
Sox
empty was
mascot.
the store? You didn't talk about this going in the
So
store.
okay, so the first one I went to, it was crowded. The second one I went to was a lot
So
empty, a lot more empty than the other
Coronaville
one. And then the
with
second
the
one was crowded as well. Walmart is
so you went
crowded for whatever
you
reason.
went to so they don't have the gimmick lines like we do, right?
No, we're not that
You guys have
we're
the
not that good.
senior lines where like the seniors go in early for the first hour and then they let people in after.
I think there's certain days that might happen, but other than that, I
Oh,
don't know.
doing that every day now. Seven to
Yeah,
eight seniors go in and then after that it's free. No,
see,
it's
that's
not. It's not.
smart.
It's not open field, but it's like you line up.
Yeah, that's smart. Um, so I
This
got
is
the
why
other
you guys
Funko
are
Pop.
winning the race. Sorry.
Um, I got the John Cena one. The basic thugonomics that came out at Mania last year, or whatever. Um,
No.
that I got that Funko, and then so I got two boxes of cards at one store and another box of cards. They were all half off, and so
All
I
right.
got
Well,
home.
that makes sense because you got half. You're gonna get half your pay next week, so half off, guys.
There you go. They were all on
There you go.
clearance, and so I opened one, and it didn't have the relic pack. Justin, like how you get like a relic inside
Yeah,
like
yeah. The
the.
gimmick. That's the
They
gimmick
didn't
silver pack.
have it. It wasn't in there. I was so mad. I texted a shout out to Sean, one half of Motor City Mark. Shout out to Alex Lorenzo, one half of the Lorenzo Bros. I texted him and I was like, I got ripped off. Like I got ripped off. And so I emailed like the one company that like deals with the like distribution for like the cards, and I didn't even say like I want this in return. I just like complained. I just felt like complaining. So that was like fun. But when I got into the parking lot at Walmart, or no, I was leaving Walmart. This is two totally separate stories now. When I was leaving Walmart, I saw a guy. Justin, have you watched Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw a guy walking into Walmart. He had a yellow like jumpsuit on, not the pants, just the jacket and the hood. And he had the face mask, the gas mask. He looked like he was ready to cook with Walt. Like Walter White was about to like come around the corner with
You're
Jesse
in a
Pinkman.
shop.
He looked like he was about to cook. And like I was just my mind was blown because I understand like putting the mask on, wearing gloves, but this guy was full like
Full
there's
gimmick.
chemical in the air. Like I could not believe it. I wanted to take a picture, but I was like,
No, dude, you
ah,
should have done it.
I
That would have
showed
been a
up.
good grand post.
That would have been something. But I mean I couldn't believe it. Like it was literally something straight out of Breaking Bad. And then when I went to Walmart the second time, they had like a whole section of like Funko Pops. They had like a bunch of Dwight ones. You remember Hey King when he was the Hey King?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have that as an exclusive for
When he
Walmart.
made
And
himself one with
yes,
the cake thing.
oh man, what a time. But they had that. They had a bunch of those, and they had all this wrestling stuff. And Breach knew about this wrestling stuff. It was a bunch of WrestleMania 3 Funko Pops. They had a giant Andre the Giant one. They had a Hulk Hogan one. They had like a T-shirt of WrestleMania 3, and they had like a lunchbox. And so I sent a picture to Breach, and then I didn't think anything of it. I went home, which you made that drive with me. It's like a 5-minute drive, 10-minute drive maybe. And I got home, and here's Breach is calling me. And I answer my phone. I'm like, hello? He's like, Mike, are you still there? And I was like, I'm here. And he's like, are you still at the store? And I was like, no, I'm home. And he was like, I need you to buy me that stuff. So I was like, okay. I was like, what do you need? He was like, I want the Andre, I want the lunchbox, I want the T-shirt. And I was like, okay. Like I'll go back to the store, I'll go back later or whatever, and then I'll ship it to you, and then I'll ship it with his he left his like bag of like bathroom stuff here when he was here for
Toiletries.
Revolution. So like yeah, the toiletries. So I was like, okay, well, I'll buy the stuff and then you pay for shipping and then like I'll ship back your thing. It makes sense. So I went back to the store. I got the things and like now everyone's supposed to be getting like the essential things, you know what I mean? So I felt like the biggest loser, like walking out with a lunch box, a giant toy, and a t-shirt and a box. Like that was something. Let me tell you. Shout out to Breach because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be getting that stuff, and I wouldn't have gone back to Walmart for that. But I mean, my God, like you know, I couldn't believe it. That's uh, that's Breach for you. Shout out to Stevie Breach. But
What a
that was a lot. I had a day. Let me tell you.
what a time to be alive.
Maybe you can make a joke out of that sometime.
What?
That was
The
I don't know. That
essentials?
was transition.
Oh. Let's talk about how so yesterday I got Amazon. So I pre-ordered toilet paper because it's a
Yeah.
gimmick now.
You pre-ordered it
Pre
like a movie?
like literally I went on Amazon. I was like Charmin, I only get that good stuff,
Yeah.
obviously. So I ordered Charmin and they're like, we're gonna ship this between April 3rd and April 20th. I'm like, all right, that's like probably when I need it or when,
Hmm.
whenever. And they ship it to my old address, my mom's place.
Oh.
I picked that up. And I swear to God, I was walking that thing to the car and I was like, drug deal, dude. Like straight up, like I straight out thought I was gonna be like, if someone starts following this car, like I know what they're here for.
Yeah. They
Like
want
it
the
was like
toilet
a 24 pack with 72, it's like triple rolls. Bro, it was crazy.
paper.
But yeah. But yeah, I got
That
I got the because like I feel like there's levels to like toilet paper. They got the Kirkland brand that's like
yeah.
low tier. Then you got like Cashmere, which is like, middle class. But then you got that Charmin dude.
Hmm.
That's like Gucci. That's like Gucci. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyway, that's like a bit I'm trying to write.
Oh, that's a bit you're trying to write. What
Yeah.
goes into writing a bit? You just like think of something and then you like
I literally
is
think of
it
a premise. It's like the premise of the joke was toilet paper is the new drug or something. Or like toilet paper is like the new gold or something. And there's like levels to the game, right?
okay.
So like So like in my head, I'm like, oh, Kirkland brand, that's like Walmart t-shirts.
Yeah.
Charmin, the cashmere, that's like Nike. But then that Charmin, that's like that Gucci. I don't know.
Okay.
My
So
mind works with.
it just evolves from that. It's kind of like writing like a book or something.
Yeah, and then I start writing out loud or talking out loud. Then I start writing out. I'm like, this. How is this even funny? Where's the funny in this joke?
So I don't think you like ever said how you started because like you do like stand-ups like stand-up like open mics or whatever. So like I think it was just one day you were like, hey, I go to improv classes. Like what?
Okay.
How did that become a thing?
So like 2018, I had the goal. I always wanted to do improv. I did improv in high school. I was pretty good at it, and I'm like, I'm always want to do improv. 2015, I was looking for classes, and I don't know why. I just never pulled the trigger. So like around 2018, I was like kind of bored. I don't know. I was like working. Like I feel like I didn't have really much of a hobby. Like go to the gym, but like that's not really a hobby. It's just kind of whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna do. I think I'm improv or acting. So I find Second City, a very reputable place. They do improv, stand-up writing, and I was like, oh,
They have a great alumni. Like the list of
literally.
alumni is incredible.
So literally, till it feel like it was like the final hour because like every term I kept looking, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do it in the summer, but it's like maybe I'm busy during the summer. Like I'll miss a class or two. Oh, maybe I'll do it like September time. Oh, I'm gonna miss a class like because Labor Day, because all out or whatever, or all
Yeah.
in like at the time. And then like the last term was like November, like the last week of October to like the second last week of December, something like that, mid-December,
Okay.
like 7, 8 weeks. So I took it, level A, and I'm like freak. Like I think I'm good at improv, but like with before you walk into your class, you're like, oh no, like am I gonna be like the worst person possible?
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you
sure everyone
realize like
thought that.
everyone's thinking the same thing when you walk in the first day.
Exactly.
So I do level A, and I'm like, oh, this is really fun. I'm gonna keep doing this. So I know I find out that they have a stand-up course for beginners. So I do the level B. So I guess this is around February, and I'm thinking I'm like I can do stand-up. Friday nights I'll do stand-up. Saturdays I'll do improv. So then I end up taking the stand-up class, which is where they teach you how to write 5 minutes worth of jokes, and by the end of it, you're gonna do 5 minutes in front of a crowd of people you know.
Sheesh. Okay.
So like 70 people, I guess. Your 5 minutes you created.
Yeah.
So the first couple weeks you learn how to write a premise. Then you learn to write how to blah, I can't even talk properly. You learn to write a bit, and then you learn to write multiple bits. Then you refine your jokes and do it in front of the class, which you don't realize how hard it is to do stand up in front of like 8 people in your class.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, why am I nervous about this? I got to do it in front of like 80 people
Yeah.
in like 4 weeks. So you start refining your jokes, and then you do your 5 minutes. But the crowd's very supportive because people that everyone knows, and everyone knows it's the first time doing it. So it's not that bad. And then I just kept going from there. I was like, oh, let me just go to open mics. And then when you go to open mic, then you really see how bad your jokes are because everything that happens on your first show, all those laughs, all that good confidence you get, you go to open mic, and then it just dies in that room.
'Cause no one laughs.
Yeah, you get chuckles. What you thought was laughter the night before is chuckles the day after.
Wow.
So yeah,
So do you feel
I was excited.
like what's a feeling like? It's just like I'm a failure or like I can't do this or why am I up here?
Oh no, getting chuckles is fine. It's when you write jokes and you go up and you get nothing. You're like, oh, I'm gonna never do this again the rest of my life.
Can you
And then you
remember
wake up the
like a
next
time?
day. Oh, I can remember. So I write these. It's a Friday night. I go to this open mic. I'm waiting there maybe 2.5 hours. Like I see, because it's like a weird thing. It's like a book show slash open mic. So they do like eight book comics, and then the rest is open mic.
Okay.
So I'm there from 9. I don't go up till like 11:45 at night.
So you
I go
waited two and a half,
two almost 3 hours.
wow. You're just sitting
And then
there the
go
whole
up.
time? Cause like
Yeah, because
I know from
I'm
like
watching stand up. I'm just watching
yeah.
everybody.
Okay. So there's like a lot of people. That's why you're not like going up right away.
Yeah, yeah. And there's people coming in and out. People just come do their spot and leave.
Okay.
People just hanging out. It's like it's kind of whatever. You're kind of just like at a bar and there's like a light, a mic, and at the back of the room essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up. I don't want to do any of my old stuff. I want to try all new stuff. So the first joke was landed. Like the first 10 seconds, 30 seconds was passable. And then it just went downhill bomb to a point where I don't even know where I'm talking about anymore. I had to pull out my phone to look at the notes on my phone. People, a lot of the comedians like have their phone out just so like glance at it, but
Yeah.
I try to memorize everything. So I pull it out and try to unlock my phone as I'm on stage, just being like, yeah, this is
Oh, this feels like
like,
a nightmare.
and like I'm like scrolling through notes like as I'm on. By the way, I only have 5 minutes, and I get the light at 4. I'm like, well, that's my time already. Bye.
So you just cut it
Because
early?
yeah, yeah, I'm just like, I'm out of here, dude. And then I sat, I watched 2 more acts, and then I walked to my car. I'm like,
And shame.
I
Like head
hate
down.
everybody.
That's
So yeah,
nuts, dude.
but the next day,
Cause
bro, you have like all the confidence in the world. Like you don't, nothing will phase you the day after you bomb.
yeah, it's like, well, I mean, I got nothing else to lose.
Yeah. So
So,
we're
cause
gonna,
I know from like just doing like presentations in school and stuff, it's like I always like there was a time when I just was like, you know what, I'll just like wait till the end. But then I thought about it and I was like, if I go first, I get it out of the way and then I can just enjoy the rest. So I don't know how, like I wouldn't be able to wait. Like to me, I would just like go up there and like I have that mentality where it's like if I mess up something, then everyone's gonna forget about it by like the third like person like for presenting like projects and stuff. So like is that the same with like like the stand-ups and stuff? Like do you feel like if you go right away, or is that just like not matter to you at all?
I like going the first 5 because the crowd is a little bit more. It depends on the crowd.
Yeah.
Usually, if it's you could tell if it's a supporter crowd. It's a good crowd. The first 5 is nice because you get like you know what you're dealing with. You're like, okay, I go up there, I'll get some laughs. But like if you're later on, I feel like you got to hit harder. I don't know, it's weird. If you're
Mm-hmm.
opening, you got to hit hard. If you close, you got to hit hard. But I feel like if you're in that first 5 when comedy just fresh to them,
Mm-hmm.
you'll bang. But I've been to a place where like I've done a show where I'm like I was later on the show and it was actually better because it took like 6 acts for the crowd to warm up.
Okay, so it's kind of like a mixed bag. Like you don't know what you're gonna get. You gotta feel
Yeah,
it out. I feel like
yeah,
that's
because
with
like
wrestling too.
seriously like there's people that could been doing comedy for a year or two that went up and they were like barely getting laughs and I was like later on the show and I was like what 3 months in I was getting more laughs than them. Like how's it even possible?
Mm-hmm.
Because their jokes were like I don't know. I thought their jokes were way more funny than mine. They were hitting like one-liners that were cracking me up.
Huh. Well, okay, so I know you're a big Crystalia fan because you kind of like, in a way, you showed him who, like, you showed me him. Like, I remember you talking about him, and then I remember in one of the Mania trips or something, the Lorenzo Bros, and I think Zach were like, they were with, I think like I don't know if it was a friend of somebody who looked like him or something, and then the next thing I knew from him, from Crystalia, he tweeted about like pro wrestling. I think like someone tweeted something and he was like, but it's still fake. And the wrestling Twitter just like blew up and they were like throwing stuff at him like, how dare you say this about wrestling? And I took that as, okay, well this guy like he's a comedian. So like let's check this guy out. I watched his Netflix specials. The first one I watched, I literally could not I had to it took me I think it's like what like an hour, maybe an hour and a half long.
You just the special's like an hour, a little over an hour.
Okay, so it's a little over an hour. I'm pretty sure it took me 2 hours to get through that because every joke I had to pause it and just like laugh and walk away and like catch my breath because I was just laughing the entire time and I could not stop laughing. So that was just like I'm glad that I am almost glad that he tweeted about the wrestling thing and everyone like went nuts about it because if it wasn't for that, then maybe I wouldn't have like got into his like comedy at that time. So I know that he's like an influence to you. Is there like anyone else that like I don't know of that like, you know?
Dave Chappelle, probably,
Okay.
definitely.
I
Bill
watched his
Burr.
Netflix special.
If you want with Dave Chappelle, watch old Dave Chappelle, like his first two specials. Those are like the most like gift, most quoted
Are
specials
they
of
on
all time.
Netflix?
No, no, no. They're just
Oh,
like you can find them somewhere.
they're just
HBO,
out
I think.
there.
This is
Gotcha.
pre-Netflix.
Yeah.
Bill Burr, you can watch on Netflix.
Wasn't he in Breaking Bad?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Bill Burr is in Breaking Bad.
Okay. That's what I thought.
If you watch his, I feel like if you watch his 2010, 2012 specials, those are the top tier ones to watch. Those are all
I
Netflix.
know he's done interviews with Barstool. He's like a fan of Barstool, so I know him like from that.
Um, I think those are the main people. Those are my main
Okay.
go-tos.
Yeah, I know. I've tried to like watch the Chris D'Elia podcast that he does, like by himself talking about whatever for like an hour and a
So
little bit. Um, so yeah, shout out to those guys. And
also,
now I want to
I
watch
still do
what's it called.
improv.
So how's that go?
Top,
Because
I
like
still do
when I think
improv
of
on top.
I think of Michael Scott when he's like, boom, Agent Michael Scott, and he's like,
Oh God.
he's got like
So
the
I
gun the whole
heard
time.
one of my old classmates was like someone in their class kept doing that same bit over and over and over again,
Because of The
and no one
Office, or just because?
just because The Office. I don't because they're like, you ever watch The Office? And when Michael does the scene in the improv scene, I'm like, yes. And it's like someone did that in our class, every class. I'm like, why? Like that's a like how do you even? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you could do that once and get a laugh, but if you do it
hmm
all the time and kill everything, I
Yeah.
get.
Like maybe you could do it in front of different people like a second time, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be weird.
But it's good. I feel like improv helps me with my stage presence because like there's been time where I forgot a joke and then I started riffing for like 30 seconds
hmm
and then I got back to it.
Huh. Do you
Yeah.
think making YouTube videos all those years had something to do with like, that creative outlet, which would be comedy?
I maybe.
I don't know.
I
I'm
feel
just
like
thinking
making
like,
YouTube videos is like give me confidence to like, hey, I could probably build an audience. I've done it once before.
yeah. I don't know. It's just something interesting to think about. But what's like a future you? Like what do you want to say to future you? We're gonna end every podcast with this.
Oh, we're already done? We're already
Oh
hitting the
yeah.
limit?
Oh yeah. We're there.
Damn it, dude.
I
I thought
know.
we were going, dude.
We got
Future
lots of
me,
days left.
we're gonna film. What do we talk about tomorrow? Or just random?
I think tomorrow, the plan is so basically on Twitter, people are bored. So they're coming up with these challenges and they're coming up with
Oh
these
my
like
God.
tweets. So Ravi,
Challenges, riddles, dude.
that's tomorrow's
Oh,
episode. We'll go over all of that because Ravi, friend of the show, Salt and Battery 777, he tagged me and Justin in like this like name your top five wrestlers that mean a lot to you or something. And because I don't want to like continue the thing, I'm going to talk about it on the podcast because I don't think it's like you can't you can't just like type it. You know what I mean? Like I just we're going to do it tomorrow on the podcast. We're going to have our five wrestlers that mean a lot to us. We're going to talk about all these challenges. So it's going to be a fun time.
okay, so future me. What am I gonna say to future me? We're gonna have our own show by the end of the year, a comedy show.
Wow.
It'll be hosted by me, at least a monthly show.
A monthly show.
Yeah, I'll have a monthly show hosted by me, produced by me. I'll be hiring the comedians.
All right.
So yeah,
I
so yeah,
I
the
think
future.
for me, um, this is so yesterday I went like far in the future, kind of like it was very broad. This I'm going to be very specific. A week from today, there's this one of my favorite bands' album comes out. Future Me, don't buy that vinyl just because it's a different color. You already got one. It's coming in the mail. It's numbered to 500, and that's all you need. You don't need another one. You only need the one. Maybe buy the CD, but don't buy more than one vinyl. It's the same album. It's the same music. You get it on Spotify. That's my
Oh,
future me message.
I, I almost bought Dua Lipa's album
Well, it
because
came out today.
she released it. It was 9.99 for the album and a signed 8x10, but then it was in pounds, and I was about
Oh,
to buy it, and the shipping cost more than the
that'll
album,
happen. Yeah, that'll happen.
and I
Uh,
kind of still want it,
How much are we talking?
like $35 altogether.
Past Justin, buy the album.
But it's a sign. But then I'm on no, it says signed card.
Yeah, it's a signed card. You don't need a signed card. You want the signed album. You know what I mean? Like I mean, what are you gonna do with the card? You're gonna lose it. It's gonna like go between
No, I'm
your
not, dude.
files.
I'm gonna put it in a frame and frame it, dude.
How big is the
Like,
card? Is it
I'm
like
not
an 8
gonna
by
actually
10?
do that. I haven't even framed my Barry poster yet.
Yeah, what is this? Like frame the Barry poster and then think about it.
Dude, by the time I think about it, it's probably gonna sell out, but it's fine. It's
That's okay.
fine.
All right.
I need to listen to her
Well,
album.
go listen to Dua Lipa's album. Not a sponsor. Sponsor us. I think it came out
Okay.
today. So I'm gonna go listen to that. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow.
If you're still listening, thank you.